Morning, everybody. How are we? I thought I'd sneak on early. A few of you's in the chat room already. Landy Smurf, Joshy Hatch. Hey, Josh, we'll bloody talk about the South Aussie election soon, mate. Labor romped it in. We'll talk about that soon, eh? And how that can spill over into the federal side of things. Yeah, Lynn Rogers. G'day, Lynn. How are you? Hopefully I haven't muted my... No, I unmuted it this time, everyone. Yeah, Sunday morning, the 22nd of March, 2026. Year's going quick, eh? Only feels like yesterday we bloody had Christmas and it's already getting towards the end of March, everyone. Wow. Hopefully, that's the end of cyclone season. We dodged the bullet and it's over. Hopefully. We're not out of the woods until April, roughly. But doesn't mean another one can't come. But yeah, that bloody cyclone, it was a bad one. It was a strong one, but it threaded a needle between Cohen and Lockhart River, everyone. So it went across pretty well Cape York in unpopulated or very low populated areas, which is a good thing because that was packing at one stage 315 kilometre an hour wind gusts. That is amazing. That's the strongest they've ever heard. Loud and clear, says Josh, down in South Aussie. Thanks, mate. Nick Taylor's on. G'day, Nick. Pete McMurtry, you're a legend too, Pete. How are you, mate? We'll talk about the Aussie shirts. I'm stuck on 99, everyone. 99 shirts. I've been sitting here all morning going, come on, one more shirt. Stuck on 99. I was hoping to have the good news that we've hit 100, but we haven't. We're on 99. 99, and I've run out of bloody batting partners, everyone. I got stuck on 99 and didn't get to the century. Rowan Martin, glad didn't give anyone rain. Still roads closed out around Barcaldine, yeah. Tell you what, we'll talk that cyclone. What was it, Narelle? Bloody come across, well, it was a high-end Cat 4 when it hit the coast. It was a 5, went down to a 4. It's going across, hit Arakoon as a 2 on the western side of Cape York. It's about to hit, probably as we're speaking, or tonight, Groot Island in the Northern Territory is a Category 3. Going across the Territory, dumping a heap of rain again on the Territory around Katherine area. Over to the Kimberley in Western Australia and then out to sea, and it's going to reckon intensify to possibly another Cat 5 and come down the West Australian coastline and could come across at Perth, everyone. It won't be a Cat 5, obviously, when it gets down to Perth, be a tropical low, but I reckon it could bend all the way down and come in at the southwest Western Australia. Just an incredible things, these cyclones, aren't they? Anyway, if you've been following the tracking map there, come at Coral Sea, across Cape York, Northern Territory, northwestern Australia, and then curving all the way down. So all you guys, Exmouth and Paul in Carnarvon and that, yeah, keep your eye on that. Cyclone Narelle, she ain't finished with yet, everyone. She's finished with Queensland, but not finished with the rest of the country. G'day, Rob. I'll order one today. Good stuff, mate. That'll crack us over the 100 mark. Beauty. Steve W., you are going to bed. And Andy Riches is on too. Is Andy on? G'day, Andy and Steve up in the mother country. How are you, lads? Hope you're good. Anyway, hey, show and tell. I was going to show these ages ago and I forgot. I got sidetracked. These are my old dog tags, everyone, from the Army. They're the original ones I got issued in 1982. The old dog tags. One's octagonal and one's round. I think the octagonal one stays with the body if you get killed and they take the round one or the other way around. I can't remember now, and you won't be able to see that. Basically, what's on there? 182296, my regimental number. Rogers, PD, I can't even read that. RC for Roman Catholic. I don't know why they put your religion on your dog tags, but they do. RC, Roman Catholic. And AB positive, your blood group. That's an important one. So, yeah, the old Army dog tags. Got them hanging up on the board there. I was going to show you them a while ago, but anyway, what else we got? Who else? We'll do a few more shout out. Bradley Howell. G'day, Brad. How are you? Wixie. Wixie's on, going to do one day. Greggy Campbell. G'day, Greg. How are you, mate? Newcastle got belted. We'll go through the footy score soon, just quickly. The rugby league scores. Jim Nauman. G'day, Jimmy. How are you, mate? Blackers. Might see if we've got the 100. Nathan Bridgeland's just put an order in, and I'll tell you exactly how many he's ordered, everyone. So Nathan's just ordered a 2XL. What's he ordered? I'll tell you in a minute. Can order a 2XL polo and a 2XL. We're at 101. Good on you, Nathan. I'll process that when I finish the live feed, mate. So we've got 100, everyone. 100 Aussie shirts. Thanks to Nathan Bridgeland. 101 and still counting. Got some good news. Going to talk about the shirt soon, everyone, because we've got some really good news coming out of there. Hopefully, Brett's probably still in counting sheep as we speak, everyone. I was hoping Brett would be in the chat room, but he's not. He's still counting sheep. James Jenneret, talking to Landy. Yeah, Landy, as I said, Landy's saying it's hard to be positive at the moment, in the way the world is and price of houses and all that. He's been looking for a house out there around Singo. AB positive, that's the second rarest in the world, mate. AB negative's the rarest. So AB positive, yeah. O positive, the O's are popular and A's and B's. But yeah, I'm actually AB positive, mate, which is the second rarest. And I think you find your kids like Lauren and Phil. I think Phil's A positive. Lauren would be A or B. They carry that as well. But O was a very popular, O pos or O neg was a very popular blood type. Yeah, so I'm AB positive, the second rarest, apparently. So yeah, I don't donate blood normally. Dad used to. Dad had over 100 blood donations. Dad always went to the blood bank and donated blood, everyone. I should do that too. And seeing as I got a rare sort of blood, the hospitals could bloody use it, I guess. Anyway, I don't like needles. I get a blood test every birthday, everyone, to check all me liver functions and bloody all that type of stuff. Another one coming up in July. Yeah, blood tests a good starting point, everyone. If you want to get your health under control, go and get some blood tests. They can tell a lot from your blood. And while I'm on that, me and Roz just received our bowel testing thing. Every 2 years, you get a bowel testing kit. And I did it last time. I'm going to do it again this time. Okay, that's how Jack Turtle found out he had bowel cancer, everyone. One of those bowel testing things can save your lives. So if you're over 50 and you've got one of those bowel cancer testing kits, I know it sounds a bit yucky, but do it. It's pretty simple. Do it. Send it back to them. It could save your life if you're over 50, which a lot of us are here. I'm sure you've all received one in the mail, and I used to throw them in the bin. Not anymore. I'll bloody do it now. Yeah. I'll do the sample and post it back, and if there's anything wrong with you, I'll let you know and say, you got signs of bowel cancer, get in and see your doctor. It could save your life, everyone. Woke up hours ago. Someone has to work for a living. Bullshit. You're up there. You got up early to check all your winnings from Harry's yacht, you bastard. Sitting there, Brett. Oh, Harry's yacht got up again yesterday. Doing one of them ones. Here, Fiona, go and buy me some more Bundies and beers. Harry got up on Saturday. Yeah. Do we order the shirts on your Facebook page? No, Ray, email, mate, and I'll put it up here right now for you. P.65. You should all know my P.Rogers65@bigpond.com. Send an email through there. I'm going to show you the Aussie shirts again in a minute, everyone. And we're going really, really well with them. And I've got a big thing written down there because some people I want to give a shout out to. There's some bloody Harry Killer Whale. No, Harry Killer Lee. Harry, how are you, mate? G'day, Buck. Harry here up in Darwin. Heaps of rain here and expecting a lot more with this cyclone. Yeah, Has it come across Groot Island yet, mate? It was going to hit Groot as a Category 3, which is a severe tropical cyclone. And then it was going to come across Catherine, mate, and dump a shitload more rain in Catherine. And it's wet up here, everyone. It's still raining here in North Queensland. We've got no sign of a fine day till next week sometime. So, yeah, it's grey, overcast, and rainy here at the moment. Phil Taylor's on. G'day, Phil. Try and stay positive. Yeah, I know, mate. It gets hard sometimes, doesn't it? Gets hard. Anyway. It's not a lot. When you turn the news on, mate, it's not all joy and happy stories, is it? She's all doom and gloom when you put the news on now, let me tell you. Bloody hell. Who's on? Paulie. Someone's saying g'day to Paulie. Paulie Martin on, is he? Brett's on as himself this morning, not as SMG. Brett's on a day off, everyone. He's on as Brett Hogan, and he's not on as SMG today. So there you go. Got some good news, Brett, about we'll talk about that soon. Blackers, if AB positive is only 4% of the world's population, we're a rare bunch. Yeah, it's the second, and AB negative's even rarer, apparently. So, yeah. Who else we got before I go on and do the weather report, everyone? Nathan Bridgeland, thanks for that, mate. Mara Rowlands, g'day, Mara. How are you? Chrissy Anderson, the Nomadic Yowie's on, everyone. What happened to Nomadic Yowie? Did you get rid of that, or did YouTube just get rid of it? I don't know what. And he's on again as SMG Sports. Dead set. How many aliases do you have? Here we go. Josh has just sent through an order. So we smashed 100 shirts, everyone. Good stuff. That was secretly, I was hoping to get 100 shirts. That'd give us $1,000 profit to buy some bags and that. And orders don't close until the 5th of April, everyone. So we've still got plenty of time. You don't have to rush in this morning. Yeah, if you're not ready to pay now, wait. You got till the 5th of April. But full update. Roger, hoping to see, mate, me and Maria would like to donate. I'm going to read this out. Roger and Maria Bartolo from Cafe 1928 in Bundaberg, everyone. Who was going there? Someone's coming there. Roger, someone's coming to your cafe this morning. Shit, wearing a Gidgee Gorilla. My memory. Who was going there? Oh, I'll think of it in a minute. It was right at the start of the comments. Someone's coming in to Cafe 1928 this morning, and they're wearing a Gidgee Gorilla shirt. Shit, my memory's bad, eh? Nathan, Joshy Hatch, Greggy Campbell sent in an order too. Thanks, Greg. Maria and I, this is Roger and Maria Bartolo from Cafe 1928 in Bundy. Maria and I would like to donate $300 to the charity cause. We don't need any shirts, but we'd like to send some money. All right, Roger, I'll reply to that as soon as I get off the live feed. And thank you so much to you and Maria. And that's why I'll talk more about that soon, mate. And it's because of people like you and Maria that we can do this type of stuff. Absolutely incredible. Brett, did you see that, mate? Another 300. And I've got some more shout-outs coming for people who have donated extra money. Didn't need a shirt, just wanted to donate some money. Not that you guys have to do that. Steve W., he's put his order in. Good on you, Steve. Steve's always, and this is the type of community we got. Bloody people overseas. Slacken's put his order in. Steve W.'s put his order in. Just absolutely incredible. Andy Riches, you don't need to put an order in. You'll get one anyway. And so is John and Mike Blakely in the US. And I'll be in touch with those guys and getting their sizes. And I'll certainly be sending one up there. Julie and Mark up in Canada, Slacken. If you didn't know Slacken's first name, it's Mark, everyone, M-A-R-C, and his wife, Julie. I said, what about Robbie? Robbie doesn't want one. And I said, all right, I'll send Robbie a tube of Vegemite instead. I sent a tube of Vegemite up for Slacken's son, Robbie, and they sent me a little video of Robbie tasting it on a bit of bread, and Robbie almost vomited. They're weak, them Canadians. They can't handle Vegemite, everyone. Nick New, g'day, Nick. And 1 litre trick. But I like shallow pan pizza as well. I can't even say that name. One one trick. Is that supposed to be one trick? Is it? G'day, one trick. Buck, I like shallow pan pizza as well. Yeah, probably talk about the pizzas as well. Did everyone see me pizza cook up? The first one I did, everyone, the crust was about 8 inches thick. It was Roscoe's. I'm only having one bit of that. It's like eating damper. And it was way too thick. The second one I did, the chicken one, I flattened it down. Phil the Maniac said, use 230 or 240 gram balls for a standard size pizza. I used 840 on the first one. It was like a family plus pizza. It was way too thick, everyone. But anyway, I got better on the second one. And next Friday night pizzas, everyone, is going to be in the Horizon. Dave from Horizon Touring, everyone. He's got the little pizza pans with the lifter that you do the pizzas in the camp oven. So that's the next way I'm doing pizzas is on Dave's Horizon Touring little pizza pans. We're going to make 3 different ones, and you just pop them in one at a time using the thing. You'll see it. And, so there you go. Buck's Pizza will plug you up. Yeah. We in the old ration packs, Brad, we used to get fruitcake in the 10-man ration packs. You used to get a can of fruitcake, and it came in a can, and you'd open it up with your Fred, and you open the other, and you just pop it out, and it'd pop out like a nice big, and you put it in slices. We used to call it bunghole because you couldn't shit for a week after you ate that stuff. It was like eating cement, and then she'd harden inside you, and you couldn't shit for a week. Yeah, the old army fruitcake in a can, we used to call it bunghole. Because that's what it used to do, bung your hole up. Oh, dear, oh, dear. Geez, I miss them days. Hey, and someone, someone would go, who wants a bit of bunghole? So they just get their knife out, and probably the knife that they've been cleaning their fingernails with and that, and they just slice the old bunghole up. Frisbee you a bit in the gun pit. Thanks, mate. And bloody have it with a cup of tea. Good stuff. Nathan Schilling, I'll grab a pair of them too, mate. A pair of what? Who are you talking to, Nathan? I'm doing the reverse tiger ones, black and orange. Brett's on here. Brett's doing business. He's bloody trying to get sales up for SMG Sports on me live feed. What are you selling now, Brett? Nathan's come in and said, I'll grab one. I'll send through size when the Cowboys ones are here. I don't want any Cowboys ones. I'm disgusted in them. Not unless they win today, everyone. We'll talk about the footy score. I know what Brett's probably doing. Shack Country footy shorts, everyone. Is that what you're talking about, Brett? I just twigged then, mate. Brett's talking about Shack Country footy shorts. Yeah, okay, Nathan. Yeah, I just twigged what he... Toxaphilly saying g'day to everyone. G'day, Toxaphilly. I haven't seen you on for a little while. Good stuff. Ed's Camping and Four-Wheel Drives is on, everyone. G'day, Ed. Ed's down there. What is it? 10:02 in the morning. Pubs are open. Ed's smashing a VB down his throat as we speak, everyone, down there in Victoria. Pubs have been open for 2 minutes, and Ed's necking his first schooner of VB. Good on you, Ed. Ed, I was going to ask you on the live feed the other night, do you use Ed's pest controller, everyone, if you didn't know? Ed's got his own pest control business. I was just wondering, Ed, do you use VB as insecticide to kill all the bugs down there? I reckon it'd do a good job. If you run out of insecticide, which is expensive, just go and buy a keg of VB and spray all the bugs with that shit, mate. That'll kill them for sure. Oh, I don't know how you Vicks can drink that stuff. Dead set. How can you drink that VB? It's bloody horrible stuff. Belinda Scott, good morning, everyone from Adelaide. We're going to talk about the South Australia elections in a minute. Belinda, that'll be riveting stuff. I won't spend too long on the elections, but South Aussie had elections last night, everyone. And the Labor, Peter Malinauskas, I was going to say Peter Malakuta, but that's a town. Peter Malinauskas has shitted in from the Labor Party. Now, what are we doing? The weather report. Let's quickly do the weather. I won't bang on too much about this. Is John or Mike on, everyone? It's I haven't seen him on yet. Paulie Martin's on. Paulie's team's going to win this week, everyone. Paulie's Manly Sea Eagles. They should win the bye, Paul. If you get beaten in that one, mate, you need to give it away. Graham Whittaker, VB is a growth hormone. hormone for termites. There, well, don't spray the termites with it, Ed. Apparently they grow off it, and they grow extra legs and whiskers and antennas and shit when they drink VB. It mutates them. Oh dear, oh dear. That's why the Vicks moved up here. The VB's driving them all out. Yeah. Innisfail, 9:04 in the morning, 26 and rain. Surprise, surprise. I think it was the same last week, wasn't it? And we haven't seen the sun since last week either, everyone. It's just been wet. Where that cyclone come over. Thank God that cyclone didn't come down south, everyone. It was powerful. It wasn't big in area, but it was small and compact. You know, it was off the coast there as a category 5. It hadn't hit the coast yet. And it was packing wind gusts of 315 kilometres an hour, which is the highest ever recorded wind gust for a cyclone in Australia. It was the strongest cyclone ever. Thank God it went down to a high-end Cat 4, which is still bad, before it crossed the coast. It crossed the coast between Lockhart River to the north and Cowan to the south. So it went over. Oh, Russ, don't give them ideas, mate. So, yeah, we dodged the cyclone. There's a bit of damage up around Cowan, but not too bad. Keep going on. And funny, you know, when Cyclone Narelle crossed a couple of days ago, that was 20 years to the day. 20th of March, 2 days ago. 20 years to the day when Cyclone Larry smashed Innisfail head on. That was a high-end Cat 4. That was a Cat 5 as well out to sea. And then they downgraded it to a high-end Cat 4 as it hit Innisfail. I came back 2 days after the cyclone. Ros was here in the house. She said it was scary. I was working in Arakoon, everyone, 2006, when the cyclone came down. And when I drove into town, I went, my God, it was like a nuclear bomb had gone off. I've never seen anything like it. This town got absolutely devastated by Cyclone Larry in 2006. And then we got banged again by a Cat 5 in 2011, Cyclone Yasi. But it hit Tully and Mission Beach harder than what it hit Innisfail. We were on the northern side of the eye of Yasi. I was here for that one. And I think Alan Joyce parked his 747 jumbo jet on my roof because that's what it sounded like when she was coming over. Bloody scary shit. London, Andy Riches. It's 11 o'clock at night. No wonder Steve W.'s going to bed up in the UK. 5 degrees and clear in London, so still chilly in London, but clearer. Toronto, Slacken at 7 o'clock on Saturday night in Toronto. So Slacken's up there somewhere. 3 degrees and rain showers. Bustleton, Western Australia, where my daughter Loz is, 7 o'clock in the morning over there. 18 degrees and cloudy. Mike Blakely, Denver, Colorado. Mike's just outside Denver, I think. 5 o'clock in the afternoon there, Saturday Arvo. Mike will be bloody blowing the froth off a few Guinnesses, everyone. 29 and cloudy, 29 Celsius. So Denver, 29. Gee whiz, it warmed up there. Remember about 6 weeks ago, Denver was like minus 25 or something. It was like as cold as Canada. Now it's 29. Gee whiz. Low of 11. Unbelievable. A low of 11, which is bloody cold for us North Queenslanders, and it's getting up to 32. Geez, that's a big difference massive difference from minimum to maximum. 11 up to 32. Here in North Queensland, you get 32. We're going to get down to like 26. Steve Wilkes in Ensenada, Mexico. Once again, 27 and sunny. Mexico gets some nice weather, don't they? John up in Portland, Oregon, everyone. 12 degrees and scattered clouds. So still cool up in Oregon at the moment. Phil Weber over the ditch in Auckland, New Zealand. 20 degrees and sunny in Auckland. Auckland had nice sunny weather last week from memory. Melbourne, all the Vicks, all the VB swillers. 18 and sunny in Melbourne. Melbourne was sunny last week as well. Sydney, sunny, scattered clouds, so sunny day, 20 degrees in Sydney. Lukey Reid down in Launceston, Tasmania, overcast and 15. Elvin and the family were on Mount Wellington the other day, everyone, on his YouTube channel, Adventuring Pals, and it was snowing in February on Mount Wellington. Anyone been up the top of Mount Wellington in Hobart? Bloody cold. It is for the wind goes straight through you up there. Jesus, cold. Adelaide, sunny and 16. Darwin, 8:39 in the morning, rainy and 26. Darwin's a bit the same as us. And back to Perth, 7, cloudy and 21 in Perth. So there you go. There's the weather report from around the world, everyone. Phil the Maniac's on, everyone. G'day, Phil. Got to go back outside soon and set up my camper trailer out in the backyard for its once-a-month maintenance checkover, preventative maintenance. Yeah, good stuff, Phil. That's the way you do it, mate. Go over your gear, and I'll keep going on about that. If you've got electrical stuff, generators, all that stuff in your shed, everyone, pull them out once a month if you get a chance. And bloody, check your gear over. So when you go to take it out or use it, it's working. 98's $2.60 at the moment. Well, it's cheaper. Probably good that things are crook when 98's cheaper than diesel. What a bunch of price gouging arseholes. We'll talk about it in a minute. Pete Mamertry, yeah, Townsville, Brownsville. We used to call Townsville Brownsville. The rain dome seems to have lifted off Townsville, and Townsville's been getting a lot of rain, Mum reckons. Yeah, and Russ. Chrissy Anderson saying, I'll bring my van up for a check, Phil, and a service. Yeah, Chris is only an hour and a half down the road in Harvey Bay, Phil. Marky Lavell's on. G'day, Mark. How are you, mate? Now, footy scores, just quickly, everyone, because we've got a big morning this morning. The NRL scores. Pissing down rain in Sydney on Thursday night. Bulldogs. Brett and Russ's Bulldogs got up over the Canberra Raiders. Canberra's got off to a shaky start this year too. They were the minor premiers last year. Bulldogs 14, Canberra Raiders 10. Wow, Penrith Panthers, everyone. They're looking strong again at the start of this year. The Penny Panthers 40. Flogged the Roosters 4. Wow. Now, this was a good game. I watched this one Friday night. I thought the Storm would win this one. The Storm were at home down there in Melbourne, but the Broncos bounced back, everyone. Broncos 18, Melbourne Storm 14. So the Bronx are on the board. They needed to win that one, the Broncos, so that would have been 3 games in a row that they lost, so 4, including the World Cup. Tell you another team that's going very well so far, the New Zealand Warriors, the Wars, 38. Greggy Campbell's Knights, 12. So Newcastle's come crashing back to earth after they beat the Cowboys. They've probably gone, beauty, we're going to win the grand final. We've beaten the Cowboys. And then they got and played a decent team and got flogged. 38-14. 38-12. So the New Zealand Warriors, Phil Weber, he'll be bloody happy. Roz's Dolphins, everyone, had a big win yesterday. The Dolphins 38 beat the Sharks 10, and the Sharks were at home, everyone. I didn't think that would happen. But the Dolphins clicked yesterday. The Hammer and all those guys. Selwyn Cobbo scored a good try. Dolphins 38, Sharks 10. Good on you, Dolphins. Last night, didn't see this game. Latrell's in the shit for a head-eye tackle. Rabbits 20, Tigers 16. That was a good close game. And today, we've got Marky Lavell's Eels up against the Dragons. The Eels are at home. Mark, you should win that one, shouldn't you? Eels, Dragons, and then my useless team are at home against the Titans. That's the battle for the wooden spoon right there, everyone. Cowboys, Titans. If we don't win that one, our coach will be gone, I reckon. If we don't beat the Titans at home, I reckon Todd Payton's Gonski. And Manly, Paulie Martin's Manly's got the bye, everyone. So there's the footy score. Now, let's get in. So we've cracked 100 thanks to all you legends ordering the song. Nathan Bridgeland cracked 100 for us. We were sitting on 99 when I went live. Nathan came in with an order. Greggy Campbell came in with an order. Who else came in? Someone else came in with an order. And bloody Roger and Maria Bartolo just gave a $300 donation, everyone. So I'm going to add the thing. Here we go. Add the stage. There you go, everyone. There's the polo shirt, the Aussie polo shirts, the Townsville Chiefs and Mr. Buckaroony Aussie polo shirt. And we've made the flag. Russ made the flag go horizontal, everyone. So the flag's running across the shirt. I like that way better. I've got the Chiefs one that runs vertical. which still looks really good, but I like that one. I like the horizontal. The buckaroony, that's the polo shirt, everyone, front and back. That's the fishing shirt, and we've got Mr. Buckaroony and Townsville Chiefs running down the sleeves in white writing, which looks really good. And that's a demo of the shirt on a dummy. You saw this probably Wednesday night, everyone. I'll just skip through this. That's the Mr. Buckaroony. Doesn't that running writing look good down the sleeve? I reckon that looks really good. The shirt looks a bit funny, everyone, because the mannequin's a bit of a weird shape. And but anyway, that's a bit of an idea what the shirt looks like. That's the demo shirt that Hamza made up. Southern Cross on the left side of the shirt. Union Jack. Bloody, I got the crosses wrong the other day, everyone. I had a mental blank, and I should know. I do know it, and I just couldn't. My brain wasn't working on Wednesday night. The three crosses that make up the Union Jack, Steve W. was probably throwing shit at his computer because I got it wrong. I don't know. I forget what I said now. St. George, the cross of St. George, which is for England, which is the big the big red cross. Sorry, the big red cross is the cross of St. George. Scotland is the cross of St. Andrew, and Ireland's the cross of St. Patrick. St. George, St. Andrew, and St. Patrick are the three crosses that make up the Union Jack. The proper name for that flag, everyone, is the Union flag. The Union Jack flies on a ship, but everyone calls it the Union Jack. The Union Jack actually is the Union flag flying on a ship. So its proper name is actually the Union flag. If you said that, everyone would think you're talking about the bloody American Civil War flag. The Union Jack, we'll call it. Cross of St. George, St. Andrew, and St. Patrick. Wales doesn't rate a mention on the Union Jack for some reason. I don't know why. They don't like the Welsh, maybe. Who knows? Commonwealth Star underneath the Union Jack with the 7 points on it, which represent the 6 states, and the 7th point represents the territories of Australia. That's the Townsville Chiefs in printing down that side. So the Chiefs logo, everyone. There it is there. He's got a weird shaped body. He's got a chest on him like Arnold and little bloody brown snake arms. But he's got, like, he's wearing boxing gloves. He's got Roger Ramjet fists. Have a look at him. So there's that's the fishing shirt, everyone. Polos and fishing. How good's that look? That's a good looking shirt, eh? The Aussie flag. Can't go wrong with the Aussie flag. There he is there. That's the polo. Buckaroony, Chiefs logo. The polos look good. I like the fishing shirts too. A lot of people are ordering one of each because they're $30 for one or $25 for two or more. So everyone's just getting a polo and a fishing shirt, which is the way to go. And it costs $15 for an express bag. I throw $15 for an express post bag on. That's what it costs me, everyone. So, see, Tucky, g'day, mate. That mannequin has a double chest. yeah, he's a weird old mannequin, this one, but Hamza put it on a minute just to give everyone a bit of an idea rather than have it sitting on a table. Gives you a bit of an idea. If you've got a bloody normal shaped body, that shirt will sit a lot better, everyone. But he's a weird old mannequin, that one. And that was when we did the Hope in a Suitcase thing last time, everyone. That was Gidgy Gorilla and his crew down at Airbus Helicopters in Brisbane. And that's only part of it. The amount of about $6,000 or $7,000 worth of gear there. All those suitcases were full of clothes and toiletries and toys and books and colouring in books for the kids, all for the foster kids. It was a big one. Don't worry about Kmart, everyone. I went in the other day. Do you think they had any of those $35 suitcases? No, they didn't have any of them either. They had those ones, $49, $50 for a bag. And that's Rachel Clancy, everyone, from Newcastle, the founder of Hope in a Suitcase. So that's the lady who came up with this whole idea. And that's like what a little kid suitcase would look like with a toy. And that's for probably a newborn or a toddler. Everyone got nappies in there, nappy wipes, bottles, all that type of stuff. So if you go on hopeinaSuitcase.org.au, they've actually got lists there. Someone asked me about this Wednesday night. Lists there for newborn, 1 to 3, 4 to 6. They've got age groups and recommended things to put in. And Pete McMurtry, stand by. I'm going to mention Pete McMurtry, and that's Karen and her husband in Townsville that run Hope in a Suitcase in Townsville. And Karen's the one who's going to be getting all the suitcases this time, everyone. There you go. There's a heap. I think that was our last batch. That might have been the Buckaroony one. So this looks like some of Gidgey's lime green ones going out there. So they go to good use, everyone. They go out to foster kids. P. Rogers with a D, everyone. P. Rogers 65 at bigpond.com. So there you go. Who's that? Oh, no. I thought Rafa was trying to get in the door. That mannequin's built like a Kia Tasman, yeah. Jordan Glennon's on, is he? G'day, Jordan. How are you, mate? Yeah, he is. G'day, Jordan. Morning all. Heading out to Dubbo to grab groceries and supplies for the cats. Head up to Brizzy next week to get them. Good on you, Jordan. Jordan's getting some cats. Good stuff, mate. Well done. Excellent. Another bloody community legend. Jordan Glennon, everyone. Now, Hope in a Suitcase. Pete McMurtry. And we talked about this on Wednesday. Pete and Michelle have got, I think Pete said 4 grandkids, different ages, young grandkids. Pete and Michelle are going to get the grandkids and they're going to go out to Kmart or Big W or somewhere, and they're going to get 4 suitcases, and they're going to get each of the grandkids. And I don't know Pete's say he's got a 10-year-old granddaughter, everyone. They're going to get the 10-year-old granddaughter to do a suitcase up for a 10-year-old girl, foster girl. So the kids are going to make a suitcase up for their own age and their own, a male or a female. So what a fantastic thing for Pete and Michelle to take the grandkids out, and they're going to explain to the grandkids what it's all about, why they're doing that, why are they buying a suitcase and putting stuff in it for another kid. They're going to explain that there's some kids out there, and it's not their fault, get born into not nice families, everyone, or they bloody little newborn babies getting born and their mum's a drug addict and all that type of stuff. This is what happens, and that's why some of the newborn babies go out to foster homes. As soon as they leave the hospital, they're in a foster home, and that's why those bags are there with nappies and bottles and all that. So you can do bags up, everyone, for a newborn baby. It's pretty sad that we have to do that, but it's fact. And I was talking to Karen, and Karen said, we can't keep up with the amount of foster kids. It's just ridiculous, Buck. The amount of foster kids going out to homes. It's a sad old world we live in, isn't it? Dear, oh dear. Anyway, and that's why it's not the kids' fault. That's why we're getting in and helping the kids. Now, what have we got, everyone? Now, if I can, I'll just see. What's that, Buck? Nah, that didn't work. I was going to go, oh no, Mr. Buckaroony. If I can just share this screen, everyone. I want to share this screen. So how do I do that? I'll go back to StreamYard. Just bear with me. I've got to share the screen. Share the screen. See if it's this one here. Yeah, share. So what's happened, everyone, is the cost of little kid suitcases in this country have gone from like $35. I went to the cheap shop here, $50 a suitcase. That's the cheapest I can get them, everyone. So Brett's got on to Alibaba in China, and if we buy 50, we get them for $23 each. If we buy 100, which we're going to have the money now, we've got the money right at the moment, and we've still got a couple of weeks to go, everyone. We've got enough money right now because of the donations of people I'm going to mention here in a minute to buy 100 of these suitcases. So we've already had 100, everyone. How good is that? Give yourselves a pat on the back. We've got enough money from the shirts to buy 50 of these. 50 of these through Alibaba delivered are about $1,100, everyone. We've got enough. And then with the donations that Roger and Maria Bartolo and some other people I'm going to mention soon have given us, we can get another 50, and we get them at about $21 each delivered. That's with taxes and freight. $21 delivered. I'll see if I hope you can see this, everyone. I hope I'm not just talking. There you go. Watch it again. Little lion. There's about 25 different animals. There's crocodiles and lions and pigs and bloody all different animals, all different colours, everyone. There's about 20 or 25 different animals. That's a lion, I think. Yeah. They got tigers, they got bloody elephants, they got pigs, all different things. So for a young small kid, they go out with a little suitcase like that with an animal, and it's all, and open a suitcase, we'll put in toiletries and clothes and a toy. One of mum's crocheted blankets will go out as well in that suitcase. So there you go. We'll start sharing that now. Here we go. I'll see if I can get back to you. How do I get back to this one? There we go. Oh, no, I didn't. Oh, I didn't. Oh. There you go. Did you all see that? Give me a thumbs up if you actually saw that video, or was I just watching it myself then? Because I lose the, when I bring a video up, everyone, I'll lose the bloody thing. Now I want one. So, see Tucky saying now I want one. So anyway, there you go. Dave saying Lauren and I could end up adopting or fostering a child in the future. Good on you. I'll tell you what, two wonderful people there. And I'll tell you what, if you ended up with a foster kid, Dave, they'd have a loving, caring home, mate. They really would. Absolutely fantastic. So Lauren would make a bloody great mum. So good on yous. What video? Hal, don't you start? Yeah, no, Marky Lavelle. Brad Howell, give yourself an uppercut. So there you go. Brett from SMG got onto Alibaba, everyone, and we can get those little suitcases. And it's about 25 different animals and different colours. I've got another video there. I think the other one's a crocodile. That was another one. It's a green crocodile one. So all different animals. At the moment, we've got enough money from the shirts to buy 50, and we've got enough in donations to buy another 50. So there's at least 100 of those coming to Karen at Open a Suitcase, everyone. So how good is that? And then what we're going to do, Brett and Russ are looking into it at the moment, for the older kids, the teenage kids, we're looking at getting a sports bag. Depends on who can get the best price, Russ through Get Branded or Brett through his mob. We're looking at getting like a nice size sports bag, everyone, with a carry handle and a shoulder strap, and put the SMG, Townsville Chiefs and the Buckaroony logo on the sports bag, and then the teenage kids get clothes and toiletries and all that in a sports bag rather than a suitcase. So Karen said, yeah, we've gone to using duffel bags and sports bags for the teenage kids now because the price of suitcases has skyrocketed. It's just hard to get a cheap suitcase now. But anyway, we've managed to find it. Brett's managed to find those animal suitcases, which are great for the young kids. You know, that up to a 10-year-old can have them. And then after that, they can get a sports bag or a duffel bag and that. Russ is on, everyone. So g'day, Russ. How are you? Russ is on from the Townsville Chiefs. And, yeah, there's a video of those. There's a video of those two little bags on my Facebook site, the crocodile one as well. But I think there's about 20 or 25 different animals. They're all different colours. So we just get, if we buy 100, we'll get 4 of each animal, for example. We'll get 4 lions, 4 tigers, 4 crocodiles, 4 elephants, and we'll get 100 of the bags sent over directly to Townsville. So we're already looking, we've got enough money for 100 of those bags as we speak, everyone. How good is that? I was hoping, I thought, oh, maybe we'll get a dozen or 15 bags for Hope in a Suitcase. Well, already, because of Brett finding nice cheap ones like that look good, we've already got 100 of them going. And the more shirts we sell now, they'll go toward, I think we've got enough suitcases now. All the money from now on, we'll get nice sports bags or duffel bags for the older kids now, which is, you know, because you've got 13, 14-year-old kids going out to foster homes too, everyone. So they can carry a sports bag over their shoulder. Carton of VB and a billy for the teenagers. Don't encourage them, Graham, for goodness sake. Now, listen, let's go on. I want to give some shout outs here to some people just quickly. There is a legend out there, and his name is James Faulks, everyone, Faulks. He's just been discharged from the Army, medical discharge. He's a veteran, and he's got an Isuzu D-Max, and he sent me a photo the other day, and his aim is to have the tub of his D-Max full of suitcases by the end of this charity drive. And he's already got the bottom of it lined. He's been out of his own money buying suitcases, everyone. And they're not the little animal ones. These are look like a good-sized suitcase, which maybe the teenage kids can have. So, James, if you see this, mate, thank you so much. Bloody just, he's a veteran affairs, a veteran now, and he just wants to give back, everyone. He can't give back. Unfortunately, he's not in the Army anymore, but he still wants to give back to community. Now, I got another wonderful bloody thing the other day from a Darren Thompson, everyone. He said, Buck, I'm an ex-Texas boy. Texas as in the little town my mum comes from, down on the Queensland-New South Wales border. Darren Thompson. And he said, I used to go to school with your cousin, Paulie Coon. My first cousin, Paul Coon, which is mum's maiden name, Kuhn. And he went to school with Paulie. And he sent me, I don't know how he got it, he sent me a photo of a family photo, and in the middle of it was my grandmother when she was young. And I think my great-grandfather and whatever. How he got that photo, I don't know. Texas is a small town. And he said, I went to school with your cousin, mate. He's bought a dozen suitcases. He said, I want to donate a dozen suitcases. He's bought them online. He's sending them to me here, and I'll take them down to Townsville. So there's another dozen suitcases from Darren Thompson, who I don't think he lives in Texas anymore, but he's from Texas, and he knows my small town, Texas, and he went to school with my first cousin. What a small world it is, eh? Yesterday, Wayne and Marlene dropped in and dropped off some massive bags. 3 big bags of wool, everyone, that Marlene's not using anymore. 3 massive bags of wool. She said, here, Buck, give this to your mum so she can keep crocheting rugs for Hope in a suitcase. Guys, Gidgy just bought mum hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of wool. Mum is stock, and now with this, mum's got enough wool for months now to keep crocheting these rugs for Hope in a suitcase. So to Wayne and Marlene, who popped in yesterday and dropped all the wool off, it's the wool off. Who remember that cartoon? It's the Wolf. It's a Wolf. What cartoon was that? Shut up, Buck, you idiot. Why my brain just goes like that sometimes. So Wayne and Marlene, thank you so much. Another legend who's donated 10 bags, everyone. Well, actually, yeah, towards those 100 bags. 10 of those are from Bradley and Mary Howe. Just keep giving and keep giving, everyone. Bradley and Mary Howe, everyone. Let's give Brad a thumbs up. He's in the chat room at the moment. And someone ordered a shirt the other day, and her name is Tracy Lindenberg, everyone. Tracy ordered a shirt, and she put $300 in the account and said, Buck, buy some suitcases. So, Tracy, thank you so much. That's why we're getting those extra 50 of those kids' suitcases. We're getting 100 now because of this type of stuff. Tracy Lindenberg, Brad Howe, Darren Thompson is sending those 12 cases. Darren's buying are on top of those 100, everyone. And James Faulks with his D-Max, he's going to fill the tray of his D-Max up. They're on top of the 100 as well. How good's this charity going already? We are 4 days in, and we're up to about 120 suitcases for Hope in a Suitcase. This community just keeps producing the goods. We just get shit done. I'm going to bring a stubby cooler out and just say, get shit done, because we do. We just get shit done, don't we, as a community? We just keep bloody amazing ourselves. Chrissy Burns, did you see me peaches the other night, Chrissy, with your olives on there? I was using your olives. Had a birthday yesterday. Went to Queen Wharf Hotel for the seafood mixed grill. Happy birthday. Let's give Chrissy a thumbs up and a happy birthday. Chrissy Burns, another bloody Chrissy provided all the Christmas hampers for Rob the Wanderer's Christmas thing, everyone. And I used the olives out of my hamper on the pizzas the other night. Chrissy, happy birthday, Chrissy. Or was it Jeff's? No, it was Chrissy's. Happy birthday for yesterday, Chrissy. Another community legend. Who else we got here? Brett from SMG. He said, I'll put 250 in as well. Buck, which is going to go towards, and obviously I'm pretty sure me and Gidgey will be slipping a bit in. So that's why we're getting those 100 suitcases, deliver those little animal ones. I reckon they're very cute for the small kids. They're brilliant. And as I said, we'll also be looking to get sports bags for the older kids. And also another lady the other day, I was in the cheap shop, Prices Plus, lady standing beside me, and I was looking at the suitcases. We got talking. And I said, oh, yeah, it's for a charity called Hope in a Suitcase and that. Told her what it was all about, what we're doing. In a wallet, here's $10. And she goes, oh, you got that YouTube channel and you did that clip on Paradise Camps, camping ground up the road. I said, yeah, that's me. She goes, I'm the lady who lives in the greenhouse. Because when I talk about Paradise Camps, which is on the turnoff is on the Bruce Highway near Mirrawinnie, everyone. There's a lime green house on the highway, and I use that as a reference point for the turn into Paradise Camps campground. She said, I'm the lady who lives in the lime green house you keep talking about. So to Rosemary, who just dug into a wallet and said, here's $10. So there's another bloody half of one of those suitcases. So that'll all go towards the suitcases as well. So to everyone who's bought a shirt or put a little bit extra, and there's other people there, put a bit extra in, thank you so much, everyone. That's why we can buy 50 of the suitcases and then another 50 now because of the donations. So we've got 100 of the little animal suitcases coming, plus a ute full, plus another 12, plus a heap of sports bags. So that's the update on the shirts, everyone. So there's some good news, eh? Landy, you wanted a bit of good news. There's some good news, mate. The community is doing some good things again for charity. So it's all about the kids, this one, all about the foster kids. So Timmy Ryan saying happy birthday to Chrissy. Chrissy was me next door neighbour. Chrissy and Jeff, me next door neighbour. And the Rowies on the other side at the Camping with Mates thing. Speaking of camping, Ed and Naz, and next weekend, everyone, is the Legends for Charity camp down in Victoria. Hope it goes really well. I hope you have a wonderful camping event, Ed. I know you put a lot of... Rob's put an order in, and Rob has said he's going to donate an extra $200. Unbelievable, you guys. Unbelievable. And that extra money now, Rob, that'll go towards sports bags for the older kids, mate. Thank you, Rob. Thank you so much. I'll reply to your email after the live feed's finished, mate. So every time I do a charity drive, I just get amazed by the generosity of you people out there. I know it's hard at the moment, the cost of living. And I said it on Wednesday night, don't put yourself under financial pressure, everyone. Don't think you have to put extra money in. If you buy a shirt, you've got to donate extra money. Please, you only do it if you can. Don't put yourself under financial pressure to support this charity, okay? Maybe down the track. If you can't support now, maybe down the track when you get into a better situation, you can go out and buy a little cheap suitcase, go to Kmart, put clothes and all that type of stuff in there. There's Hope in a Suitcases, everyone. Newcastle, that I know about, Newcastle, Tasmania, North Queensland, Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast, Brisbane. I asked Karen the other day, Ken. Russ Longson, unbelievable. The Townsville Chiefs have just donated $1,000, everyone, to Hope in a Suitcase. Let's give the Townsville Chiefs and Russ Longson $1,000 so he can donate it to me. No, let's give the Townsville Chiefs a thumbs up, everyone. Unbelievable. So as you know, the Townsville Chiefs love doing stuff for charity, and that $1,000 will probably go in the way of sports bags and duffel bags and all that type of stuff. Unbelievable. One problem Karen's got is where she's going to store all these bags. So if anyone's in Townsville And if anyone's in Townsville and you know of someone who's got a big room where they can store these bags until Karen might need somewhere to store them. So, because I think they're just renting a small space there in Townsville. I don't know if she's got the room for it. So if anyone in Townsville knows someone who's got a secure place that can store some suitcases, if I hope in a suitcase, reach out to myself or Russ Longson, everyone, please, at the Townsville Chiefs. Russ, you're a legend, mate. Thank you so much. This charity is going to be huge. We're going to have well over 100 suitcases. We're going to probably have 100 bloody sports bags the way things are going too. So I hope in a suitcase. They said, Buck, we're having trouble getting suitcases. We get donated a lot of little clothes and toiletries and that from people. We're having trouble getting the suitcases. Well, very, very soon, in a couple of months' time, there's going to be 100 of those little animal ones rocking up, and then James and Darren's suitcases and all that will be taken down to Townsville for it. So they're going to have plenty of suitcases to put the stuff in, thanks to the Mr. Buckaroony community. Yeah, we'll see how we go, Russ. Hey, we can always do another. You know, if I ever do a charity, it's usually for animals, everyone, or if I do help humans out, I'd rather help Hope in a Suitcase. And what we do is, rather than just donating money, we're donating actual items, everyone. We're donating the bags. So you know that the bags are going to be used for exactly what we say they're going to be used for. You donate $1,000, and I've done it, to animal shelters and that. You just hope that they're using the money for the right purpose. It's why myself and the Townsville Chiefs, we don't donate to the big Red Crosses and things like that, because your money's going probably towards paying people a wage, all the admin people and CEOs and all that stuff. We don't do that. We do the little stuff, like Hope in a Suitcase, which is run by volunteers, everyone. All the ladies and that are out there running Hope in a Suitcase are volunteers. And a lot of the people that run Hope in a Suitcase are also foster parents. They're also foster parents. They're good people, and they're giving back. They love children, and they're not getting paid to do this. And that's why we come in and we help out. So Hope in a Suitcase is a bloody fantastic charity to get involved in, everyone. And I'm sure there's one around where you live if you ever want to help out in the future. Righto, let's get off Hope in a Suitcase. As much as I could talk about that all day, I love it. How good's the charity going? So, as I said, if you want to order an Aussie shirt, get the orders in, everyone. You got to the 5th of April. You don't have to rush in now. Orders close on the 5th of April, okay? Now, South Australian, let's get on to some election business. The South Aussie had their election last night, and the Labor Party has shit it in. Now, I just got on before I went live, and there's still seats that are still to come in. But at the moment, Labor all right, Nathan will do that, mate. 32. So 32, they needed, how many did they need to win? 22 or something. They've shitted in. Labor Party, 32 seats so far. Liberal, 4, which included the leader of the Liberal Party, the female. She got her seat. One Nation, 0 at the moment. And other, which is probably a green seat, 1. So here we go. Now, listen, people are going to go, One Nation got a shitload of votes in South Australia. Yes, they did. They took all the Liberals' votes. We all knew that was going to happen. The Liberal vote was down like 15%, and One Nation's was up by 15%. That's great for One Nation. A lot of people are protesting and giving a lot of votes to One Nation. But when you look at it, this is what counts, everyone. If you want to make a difference, you've got to have a seat. Labor, 32. Liberal, 4. One Nation, 0 at the moment. They may pick one up. Now, there were things there last night where One Nation were leading the primary vote, but they didn't get their seat. They didn't get the seat because the preferences, no one preferences One Nation. Nobody was preferencing One Nation. They are on their own, everyone. They're strong on their own. They're getting really good primary votes. But when we run on preference elections or preference voting in this country, I don't really. I like the old first past the line. That's the way I'd like to see it go, but it won't. We run on preferences. No one preferences one nation. No one. Liberal, Labor, Greens, nobody preferences one nation. And then they might win the primary vote and then they get swamped. Someone won their seat last night from third position. Can you believe that shit? Somebody won from third. They got the third. Two people beat them and they still got in. They won from third position. That's bullshit. If you come third, you shouldn't get the seat. It means there's two people above you that people prefer to be in there. But they are preference voting. I wish I knew more about how it worked. I should have studied up more. I didn't really get into elections in my younger days because I didn't give a shit. I just go in, vote, and then didn't care. It's not till you get older and the country's a mess that you start really giving a shit about how our voting system works. But the way it's working at the moment is duds are getting in on preferences. So at the end of the day, people are going to go, One Nation went well in South Australia. Yes, they did. They went very well. But they got no seats at the moment. You can't make a difference if you've got no one, an MP. If you haven't got an MP in, they might get a couple in the Senate. And speaking of which, the leader of the One Nation Party in South Australia, Corey Bernardi, he's the leader of One Nation. He hasn't even got a seat or a Senate seat. He's a nothing. He's just a figurehead. So I don't know if he was he going for a Senate seat in this election? I haven't heard. 870 Remington. 870 Remington shotgun, mate. I shouldn't have said that word. I'll probably get banned now. It's an 870. Tillman. That was when I was over. That was when I was over at the SAS regiment, mate. I was posted over there for 4 years, and I was running a range shoot that day. I was a warrant officer at that time. I had my squadron out, and we were doing a MP5 and 870 Remington shoot that day. We had the MP5s out there. We had the SD, which is the one with the suppressor on it, the A3, which is the standard MP5, and also the little K models, mate, that the boys used to use for going into aircraft and stuff like that and going in through windows. So we had the three variants of the MP5, which I was qualified on, and that was an 870 Remington. And we also had the 870s without the butt on, so they just had the pistol grip for when they used to blow doors and stuff off. So we had a Pommy Exchange bloke story. I'm running. It might have been this actual shoot. I said, if you've got one of the 870s that doesn't have a butt stock, everyone, do not put it anywhere near your face. You fire it off your hip. Don't put it near your face. This Pommy Exchange bloke put her up, pull the trigger. She went straight out and smacked him fair in the teeth, blood, claret everywhere. I said, mate, I told you not to put it anywhere near your face. If it hasn't got a buttstock on it and you just got the pistol grip, fire it off your hip or off your chest there. Don't put it anyway. She kicked back and he split him open, eh? Claret everywhere. Yeah, 870 there, mate. Sorry. Back onto what I was talking about. So South Australian elections, everyone. Great. One Nation got a lot of bloody votes, but they got no seats at the moment. They might pick one or maybe two. I doubt it. They'll be lucky to get one the way they're going. A lot of them will win in the primary vote or just under, but preferences were blowing them out of the water. And I think that's the way the election's going to go, the federal election, when that comes up, everyone. I think you're going to see One Nation votes go right up. No one's going to preference them, and they're going to get blown out of the water on preferences, and we're going to end up with a big Labor victory again, which is what happened down there. Liberals suck at the moment. They got no votes, except for those four people. Two of those four won on preferences, everyone. The Liberal leader, she won fair and square. She got the primary vote by a long way. She won on her own accord. I forget her name now. And one of the others. I think two of those four Liberals won on preferences, everyone. There you go. So Peter Malinauskas is the Premier again of South Australia. Obviously, he shitted in, everyone. Obviously, he must be a good Premier because most people voted for him. Labor lost a little bit of primary vote to One Nation, but not as much as the Liberal Party. The Liberals are on the nose at the moment, and I think that's going to generate in the federal election. People are not going to vote for Liberal because they're in disarray at the moment. They're going to vote for One Nation, which is great, but then all the preferences, One Nation, are going to struggle again. If you want to make a difference to this country, you've got to have MPs in there calling the shots. And at the moment, South Australia, you're in for another 4 years with Labor at the helm. And well done to Peter Malinowski. I don't know much about the guy, but he was the Premier and he's been re-elected. So when you go back to back, obviously you're doing something right. So well done to that. Yeah, so there you go. That's the South Australian elections, everyone. I think you're going to find a similar pattern during the federal election. What do you reckon, everyone? I think you're going to find One Nation's going to get a lot of primary vote in the federal election when it gets here, and they're going to get out preferenced. You're going to get Labor. If you want to get elbow out, everyone, the Liberals and the One Nation Party and the Nationals, they need to bloody start preferencing each other. And until Liberal and One Nation preference each other, Labor are going to continue to be in. It's as simple as that. What do you reckon? Oh, Queensland. Ben, our Queensland election was last year, mate. David Crisafulli got in, okay, and he's doing a pretty good job too. So we've got a Liberal. It's still LNP in Queensland. It's still the Liberals and Nationals are still together in Queensland, I believe. It's the LNP party, and David Crisafulli is our Premier, LNP, and he's a pretty good Premier. He's doing a good job, I think. He did a wonderful job during the cyclone, out and about. I think he's a good Premier. And I think you'll see that David Crisafulli is going to be here for a while in Queensland as part of the LNP. No, he's doing good. How's Rafa? Sally Webb? Yeah, he's good. He's naughty. He won't take his medication. He's on about $370 a month medication for his gallbladder and his heart murmur. And he's bad for diverting his medication. He should have been a crim. As soon as I put the medico, his tongue goes and out she comes. Dropped off the bed the other day. His tablet went boom, straight out. I thought, oh, she's down, you beauty. He jumped off the bed and it popped out of his mouth. So he's a master diverter of his medication, Russ. He'd make a good crim, Rafa, at diverting his medication. No, he's all right. And they've cleared him of cancer. They reckon he doesn't have cancer. He's got lumps and they reckon they're benign. He's got sludge in his gallbladder, which he's on medication for now. And he's got bloody a heart murmur and he breathes really fast, but he's going all right. He still goes for his walks in the afternoon, and yeah, Brad, I know, mate. Liberal and Labor. I got a funny feeling last night. I'm sure I heard one of the Labor blokes say that there was a couple of seats there where the Labor handballed some prep that they couldn't win. Labor were like running fourth or fifth or whatever, and they preferenced the Liberals just so One Nation can get in. So they're all jacking up against One Nation, everyone. One Nation's up against it. We're all sitting there. Wouldn't it be good? I'd like to see One Nation become the opposition. Will they become that? I don't know. On the primary vote, they would be. They outvoted, in the primary vote, One Nation outvoted Liberal Party. But when it comes to preferences, which is how we vote, no one's preferencing One Nation. They're by themselves, everyone. Pauline needs to get in and start doing some deals with the Liberals and the Nationals. Otherwise, she's never going to be opposition leader, everyone. She'll never be Prime Minister, but she'll never be opposition leader. I think we're in for a long term with Labor, everyone. I know you didn't want to hear that. Albo's going to be around for a lot longer yet. He may handball it over to someone else, Richard Marles or someone, at the next election. I don't think so. I think you'll find we're stuck with Albo, whether you like it or not, because they're all jacking up against One Nation. One Nation are a threat to them, and that's why no one preferences them. Anyway, but as someone was saying, One Nation's sit back and criticise. Do they have policies of their own? You know, it's not till you get in the position and you've got to have actual policies. I'll tell you who I don't like, this guy. He's a bloody typical rich guy and he's a narcissist and whatever. Clive Palmer, everyone. I'll tell you what, he's got some good ideas on how to get Australia moving forward. And if I was Pauline Hanson, I'd be picking the brain of Clive Palmer and Jared Rennick, and these people that have got a good business brain on them and ideas of how to get this country moving. Clive Palmer's done it. He said, go onto my website. He said, politicians need to have a look at that and start adopting some of the principle on how to make this country move forward. So Clive Palmer has got some good ideas on how Australia can get out of debt and how to start making money when it comes to mining and all this. But once again, when you're one of these little parties, you're just insignificant. You're insignificant. You don't make a difference. And that's why I vote for Bob Katter. Bob doesn't make any difference in Parliament. He's just one man. He stands up, has a rant, sits down, changes nothing. So I feel like when I vote for the Katter Party, I'm wasting a vote in a way because no one listens to Bob anymore. He's getting old, he's getting senile. He stands up and has a rant. Some of the stuff he says is on the money, but no one listens to him. So it's like he's just one man in amongst 150 MPs, and he makes no difference whatsoever. All he can do is try and go and bat for the electorate of Kennedy, and we've still got B doubles driving on single lane shitty roads up here. It's been like that. Why didn't he get them done? Why hasn't he got our roads better? Like, it just doesn't make a difference. It's bullshit. All the money gets gobbled up down in the cities, everyone. We all know that. If you live out in the country, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So they only go into politics to line their own pockets. Yeah, I know, mate. I know. They need to. What are senators? Each state has got 12 senators, and each territory, Northern Territory, ACT, has got 2 senators. Do we need 12 senators from each state? And most of them are morons. Most of them are morons anyway. Like, let's cut down on the amount of senators we've got. Most of them contribute nothing except bloody division. Oh, that bloody, what's her name? Lydia Thorpe. Like, she's one of the senators. How do people like that get into politics, everyone? Dead set. Yeah, the system's rooted. See, Tucky? Is it Chris? The system's rooted, mate. Yeah, I know. The change to MMP stuff, MMP, is that the preference, Pete, you're talking about in New Zealand? Does New Zealand, apparently the USA doesn't it? They're first past the line, and apparently the UK, Andy, are you on? Apparently the UK are first past the line as well. I thought the UK might have been preference and we were taking the UK system, but I heard last night someone mentioned that the UK was first past the line, and America definitely is. It's first past the line wins. That's the way I like it. But what they're saying is the preference treatment is preferencing is so that your vote down the track at least counts to something. Well, I don't know. Does it? Does it? I reckon if the majority of people vote for Joe Bloggs, he should win it. That's the way. Go in. When I become PM, first past the line. If you bloody come third and you still get the seat, there's something wrong with our system. First past the line. Majority of people wanted you in the job, mate. You've got it. It's the old bloody. Isn't that what a democracy is? Majority rules. Not in our voting system. It's like you can come third and still get your seat. It's bullshit. We all know that. Needs to change. Never will. Alex Antic is quite good. Yeah, I've heard that name, Ben. Alex Antic. I do know that name, mate. Yeah. We need a system like in Wales. If they do a crap job, they can be sacked. We'd have no politicians left, mate. She'd be bare. We go into Parliament, there'd be 150 spare seats there. Everyone would be sacked. You just sack them. When you drain the swamp, as Trumpy says, drain the swamp, you drain her all right and start again. And I said it on one of my YouTube shorts, we're lacking for good politicians, everyone. We're lacking for good politicians. The good ones are retired and living on their big, fat politicians' pensions. That's the other thing that makes me sick. You've seen the money they're on when they retire? It's sickening. Absolutely sickening. And I think they can tap into it straight away, whereas we all have to wait to bloody you're 67 or something. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. We all have to, not me so much, I'm on an army pension. I was special. But all you guys out there, when do you get your old age pension kick in? At 67 for males, and was it 65 and a half for females? politicians, they tap into theirs straight away. Good on you there, bloody arseholes. And they get 200,000 a year or whatever. And as a bloke who did 20 years in the army, I get 20-something thousand. My 20-year army pension that I'll get, the DFRDB pension, it's less than 30,000 a year in the hand, well less. Yeah, it'd be less than 30,000 a year in the hand. These politicians are on 200. They do 20 years as a politician and get 10 times what I got for serving me country as a soldier. How's that work? Anyway, I'm not knocking my pension. I'm grateful for it, everyone. But when I compare it to the politicians' one, all right, politicians, maybe you get a pension, but why should you get more than what a soldier does for doing 20 years for his country? Get 20 or 30,000 in the hand for being a politician, and then go out and have to get a job like I did when I got out of the army. When I got out of the army at 38, I started getting that pension. It was only about $400 a fortnight back when I got out of the army in the hand, but it was something. I had to go out and get another job. I couldn't live off that. I had to go and work for another bloody 19 years as a police officer and a screw, everyone. So, yeah, but these bastards, they do 6 years as a politician and then retire. If they get voted out, they can retire on their big fat politician's pension. I laugh when Jim Chalmers says he feels for the average Aussie. Like hell you do. You're on 10,000 a week wage, arsehole. Yeah, exactly right, mate. They're out of touch with reality, aren't they? They really are. Let's keep moving on, everyone. We've talked about the South Australia elections. Who has cancelled their Easter holidays? Who's cancelled their Easter camping trip or road trip? If you're going to go away at Easter, which isn't far away, Brad's off. See you, Brad. Who's cancelled their Easter trip, everyone? Now, fuel costs. Fuel, the other day, I thought we'd run out of diesel at my local Ampol here, and Roz said no, they found water in there. They drained her a bit low and discovered water, so they had to close the diesel bowsers down. So that's the other thing someone said. Just be careful now. People running out of diesel and petrol getting real low down there. The lower they get, the more sediment and shit in the fuel tank. So they always say you shouldn't fill up just after the trucks have been because it stirs it up. I don't know if that's true or not. Brad would be able to answer that one. Yeah. Yeah, old age pension 67. Yeah, that's what I said, Ed. I think females is 65 and a half. Or are the females on 67 as well? I don't know. If you're a brickie, and they wanted to put the old age pension up to 70. Remember that? They wanted to up it to 70. And you got brickies in that going, try doing my job at 70. Come on. Bricklayers and carpenters, people have got physically hard jobs, bust their guts all their life, and then they want to put the old age pension up to 70. Bullshit. They've done their bit. All them trade brickies and all that, they've done their bit. They shouldn't even be laying bricks at 67. It's a hard job, everyone. So it's a young man's game. But I saw a thing on Facebook once going, it was a brickie, try doing my job at 70. See how you go. Concreters and all those physically hard jobs. That's why coppers in Queensland have to retire at 60. Got to go out and get into wrestles with people at outside pubs and going to bloody rolling around on the floor with people at domestic violence situations and that. You don't want to be doing that after you're 60. That's why you have to retire at 60 as a police officer in Queensland, because it can be a real physically hard job, especially if you start getting into punch-ups and that. You've got to be able to defend yourself. Once you get over 60, as much as we don't like to admit it, everyone, we start slowing down. So, fuel refineries. Hey, Blackers, if you want to come on for a quick chat, mate, we're on to fuel refineries at the moment. So, bear with me. Blackers, are you still in? You can click on this link, mate. We'll talk about Steve Blackney works at the Geelong oil refinery, everyone, the fuel refinery. So we only got 2 left in Australia now. And as I said on one of my live feeds the other day, we used to have 6 or 8. Guess who was in when we bulldozed the other ones? And they didn't just shut them down. I saw pictures the other day, though, the big stacks and that, blowing them down. Like, why didn't we just keep maintaining them and keep them on standby? Probably because it costs money. They go, we'll just import all our fuel now from Singapore and all that. We don't need our own refineries. We'll just keep 2 open and get 2 of the bloody 10%. Our 2 refineries in Geelong and Brisbane make 10% of our fuel. We need 1 to 1.15 million barrels of fuel a day to run Australia. We can only produce about, 200, say 20%, 200. The Viva Energy in Geelong produces 120,000 barrels a day of fuel, diesel, ULP and that. And the Ampol refinery at Lytton, 110,000 a day. So there's 230,000. Blackers is coming on. I'm going to bring Steve in, everyone. G'day, mate. How are you?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, mate, yeah. Yep, we got you. I'm glad you come on, mate, because I'm just down to talk about fuel refineries. You actually work at the Geelong one, which I wasn't aware of till the other day. Yeah. So you can probably just, if anyone's got any questions in that, mate, but let me know if I'm correct. I just Googled this the other day. We need, say, just over 1 million barrels of fuel to run Australia a day. Ampol, the one in Brisbane, produces 110,000 barrels a day. And Viva Energy Geelong, which is where you work, mate, it's called Viva Energy, produce 120,000 barrels a day. Does that sound right?
Yeah, that's right, mate. Yeah, that's exactly right.
All right, so they said we can only, our 2 remaining refineries only produce 10% of our fuel, but if we use 1 million, that's 20%. When I went to school, if you add that up, that's 200,000. So our 2 refineries at maximum production can produce 20% of our fuel.
Yeah, that's right. But on top of it, we do import fuel as well.
Absolutely, yeah, we do. Yeah. Say we import, say, 80% of our fuel, which is where the problem comes. When I Googled it, mate, I said, when do we get rid of our other refineries? That was under the Liberal National Party. And guess who was the energy minister when we got rid of our other refineries? Yeah. Angus Taylor, who's now the opposition leader. And he's there now. You know, I'm not an Albo fan, mate. I'm not a Labor supporter. But they're there bag and elbow about not only having 2. It was their watch when we got rid of the other refineries.
It was, but in all fairness to Taylor, he did save the 2 that were there. The other 2 that went under his watch, it was probably too little too late. They didn't take up the offers from the government. They just closed. That was the other one in Brisbane and the Perth refinery, I believe.
Which was our biggest one, I believe. The one down south of Perth, I think, was the biggest refinery in Australia.
Not sure about that.
Yeah. So anyway, at the end of the day, mate, how's this for an idea? Where at the refinery, do you have massive, you import, where's the oil come from your refinery? The actual crude oil that you refine into diesel and petrol, where does the oil come from?
It's all imported now. As of late last year, we stopped getting Bass Strait oil. And I believe it's basically they just buy it where they get it, the cheapest they can buy, obviously. When a ship comes in and discharges crude, as an operator there, I'm not really up to where that ships come from, but they're coming from all over the place,
Yeah, all right. So Bass Strait, I did read that. Someone said, we got Bass Strait oil rigs. Well, they've all finished up, apparently. We've still got oil up off the northwest shelf in Western Australia. Yep. If you can believe people, we've got enough oil to supply us for a long time sitting under South Australia, but it's shale oil, mate, which, and I read up on it, to get shale oil out of the ground, they've got to do a thing called fracking. And we all know that people don't like that word because we've seen what it does when they frack for gas out in West Queensland.
Yeah.
And we've got bloody gas coming up through our rivers and all that type of stuff. But surely out in the middle of South Australia where there's no rivers and all that, if we frack for this shale oil, which can be produced, it just takes more water, more energy, fracking and that to get it up. But once it gets up, and gets to a stage, it can be turned. It's a light, sweet crude oil. It can be turned in. The Americans do it, mate, and we've got a shitload of it under there. If we had the infrastructure in place in South Australia, maybe we'd have enough oil here to we could do it all ourselves. So do you have massive storage tanks at the refinery for crude oil, and then that gets piped in as well? Gidgey's coming in too, everyone. Hey Gidge, how are you?
Good. I just thought I'd pop in and say a quick good day from the top of Mount Tambourine.
Hello, Gidge.
I thought it looked familiar. Steve Blackers is on, mate. Is the other one on the screen that you can see? Steve Blackers.
Hey, how you going, mate?
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, I won't stay long. I just got up the top, so I thought I'd say a quick hello.
Yeah, good on you, mate. That's a beautiful bloody backdrop there, spoilt by an extremely rough head.
Is that better?
It's a lot greener than Victoria.
Yeah, that's
yeah, it's nice up here. Just had a heap of Lamborghinis and Ferraris go past, so yeah, it's good.
Did you try and blow up the Raptor?
Yeah, well, I'd beat him on a beach. That's about it.
Anyway, nice day.
Anyway, see you later, eh?
Righto, mate. Thanks for coming on and saying good day.
Good.
That was short. That was short and sweet. So, sorry, mate. The massive tanks there with that the crude oil gets put into, and then you filter it out and turn that into diesel.
Yeah, exactly. About 10 years ago, they actually built a lot bigger one that could, because they used to have ships come in and discharge, and we didn't have enough storage, and the ship would have to wait while we used that up and then discharge the rest of it. So they built a whopping tank to be able to just discharge the ship and let the ship go.
Yeah. We get caught short. Now, when Angus Taylor was the energy minister, they held 60 days of crude oil in the United States, which counted towards our by international law was supposed to hold 90 days of fuel holdings. Who thought it was a good idea, and how can it possibly count towards? Oh, we've got 60 days of crude oil sitting in Louisiana in big storage tanks. That goes towards our 90 days holdings, where really we've only got 30 days holdings here in Australia and 60 days of oil sitting in the United States. So, how can that possibly go towards our 90 days holdings, mate?
It's the way they twist the truth in it, I suppose, to suit their agendas.
And I like the way that the reason is those massive oil tanks in America, they used to buy crude oil when it was cheap and put it in those massive storage tanks in the United States and then ship it here as required. Not a bad idea, but those storage tanks, Steve, should be here in Australia. We should have 90 days of it here in Australia. And by all means, if we want to import our oil, do it. Buy it when it's cheap. Fill our tanks up. That's what we do with our cars, isn't it? We go and when fuel's cheap, we go and fill up, and we fill up our mower fuel and generator fuel when it's cheap. It's what you do, and it's what we do as a country. But it needs to be stored here, mate. We need some more refineries. Two's not enough, mate. Two's not enough.
Yeah. The only thing we've done in the last few years through government help, basically, they built 3 massive diesel tanks that have been going for about 18 months, 2 years. We've had the use of those. But again, you're right. If we haven't got the crude coming in to process diesel or to import diesel, those tanks will sit empty if we can't import it.
Yeah. Geez, it'd be nice to. And we need to start now. We've been caught short. It's a bit late right now, but this could happen again down the track. We need now someone, hopefully they're having a big round table conversation and going, you know what? Those that 60 days holding in the United States is coming to Australia. What do we need to do? We need to build massive crude oil storage tanks. Well, let's do it. Let's start putting money aside and start doing it. Stop giving money away to countries that start looking after ourselves. Exactly. Put some infrastructure there, and then it's probably too late. Are we ever going to drill for the shale oil and that in South Australia? Be nice, wouldn't it? But we don't have the infrastructure. But someone's saying we've got a lot of capped oil wells out in South Australia already. I don't know if that's true or not, but we've got to have somewhere to store that crude oil, mate. And it needs to come from the US. It needs to come into this country. And I think we need more than 2 refineries? Obviously we do. We've been caught short.
Yeah, I think we do. When I started, there was 8 refineries in this country. Now we're down to 2. So in the 25 years I've been in the game. But you're right. We need to. It's not if it'll happen again. It's when it'll happen again. We get in this situation. So we've got to learn from this and put a plan of action in to soften the blow next time.
Yeah, I know. We've been caught short, and I'll tell you what, it's not over yet. Carl said China's just stopped. China's turned the tap off to us. Not that despite Australia, but they're looking after number one. What do you produce? ULP, diesel? Do you produce aviation fuel at the refinery?
Yeah, we produce jet, which is kero, but we import a lot too. We can't keep up with the demand. And we also produce avgas. And I believe we're the only refinery in the Southern Hemisphere that does that. Perth used to as well, the BP. But I think we're it now, and they actually make good money off that. That's for like your little planes like Cessnas and stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah, avgas, and helicopters run on avgas too, I think. Yeah. So whereas jet fuel, China, apparently a lot of it came from China, and they've said we're not exporting now. We need to look after number one, which is what they should do.
Which is understandable.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. So are we going to have planes sitting on the tarmac soon, you reckon, that haven't got bloody jet fuel?
Well, it's the possibility, isn't it? It depends on the supply from overseas, because we can only make so much. You know, as I said, we're 120,000 barrels a day, and so is Queensland about. That's only goes so far, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's right, mate. That's right. So do you know the breakup of a barrel of crude? Apparently, when you're a certain amount of that, of 1 44-gallon drum of crude, a certain amount of that goes towards petrol, a certain amount to diesel, a certain amount to petrochemical. Is that how it works? Like a certain percentage of that oil goes towards making different stuff?
Yeah, look, I don't work on the units, Buck, but from what I do know of them, the crude distiller units, basically, on the actual distiller columns, there's different cuts come off at different levels of that column. Now, how much of each, I don't know. It's not, part of my job, but that's how it works, basically,
Yeah. Okay. Has there been any talk at the refinery about, since this has been going on, about ramping up production, or is that maximum now, mate?
Yeah, I haven't been at work since the start of March. I go back to work Easter Saturday, so I've been on holidays. But from what I have heard talking to a mate the other day, they're at full go. The diesel unit was due for a shutdown in April, and they've put that out because they can't afford to close down the plant at the moment. The government would go off their head if they did. So that's been pushed out, they reckon, till at least July now.
Wow. Okay. Well, we'll see what happens. But they reckon only 20% of the oil comes through the Strait of Hormuz. Well, there's 80% somewhere. They've just got to start working out where else we can get bloody oil from. And if
I've
only
no
20%,
doubt. I've no doubt the people who buy the crude are trying to source it everywhere at the moment. I've no doubt of that.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. Anyway, and that's hopefully what the refineries in Singapore and South Korea and India and China are doing.
Yeah, exactly.
They're just going to have to source the oil. The people who provide oil, the other 80%, need to ramp their oil production up until they get the Strait of Hormuz under bloody control, mate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But wouldn't it be nice to know that we can go, the Prime Minister picks the phone up and goes, South Australia, we want oil and we want it now.
Yeah,
ramp up production, ramp it up to full thing, get those big oil storage tanks that we don't have if we had in, fantasy land, and we're going to start filling them up, and we're going to open up the other 4 refineries that were just on standby. We're going to open them up, but we don't. We've knocked them to the ground, apparently, mate. I saw footage of them just actually the chimneys going down. They've just destroyed those refineries. I mean, if we want more refineries, we'd have to build them from scratch.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a big effort. But I think it's just been successive governments that it's until now it hasn't been an election issue, so they ignore it, don't they? They only react to election issues and that's it. So it's a problem. Who cares? It'll be a problem down the future that we don't care about.
It's going to be an election. It'll be an election issue next election. Let me tell you.
I think it is, mate. Yeah.
Especially if we run out of fuel. If Qantas and that can't start flying, and we have emergency services vehicles, and our farmers can't get diesel, which is looking like the case.
Yeah.
Personally, I think that the world is going to go. At the moment, we can't get stuff from there. We're going to have to source it from elsewhere, and they'll ramp production up. I don't think we're going to run out of fuel, but maybe we need to run out of fuel before our government realises they got to teach them a lesson. Teach them a lesson. Exactly right, mate. Yeah. Because if they don't get taught a lesson, they'll just forget about it, and it never happened. Like it never happened.
Yeah, exactly.
And, I don't know, mate. Bloody So anyway, you boys will be working like a bloody Beirut brickie, mate. When you get back to work, you'll be. What do you actually do there, Steve?
I work in the area called movement. So basically, all the units make the ingredients, and my area takes those ingredients and we blend it. Then we basically will put it in the labs for batching, and then once it's batch product, we either load it on ships or we pump a lot of it to Melbourne, up 2 pipelines to Melbourne. That's what my area does. We're the logistics of it.
Yeah, okay, mate. Yeah, it's a fascinating topic. I don't really understand much of. It's not until this has happened now, everyone's trying to become an expert on the subject. But there's obviously a lot to it. It'd be.
Yep.
Do you do tours through the refinery? Can people do a tour and learn how fuel is made?
No, they don't. They haven't done it for years. They used to have an open day sort of every 2 or 3 years, and they stopped that about 20 years ago, to be honest. They didn't,
That'd be fascinating. I know the Tully Sugar Mill does a tour during mill season, and you learn how sugar is made out of sugar cane. Yeah. You do a tour through the mill, and it's fascinating what they. It's a lot more to it than you think. You know, how to make?
There's a lot.
How do we get fuel, diesel, and 98, 95, 91, and bloody plastic out of a drum of crude oil? It would be a fantastic thing to learn about that. Something that they didn't teach us at school. Should have learned shit like that at school instead of some of the garbage we did learn.
Yeah,
mate.
exactly.
But,
real life stuff. Yeah.
But anyway, we're not pumping for our own oil. We don't have enough oil production in this company. We don't have enough storage tanks. I think that is something they need to address. I know to get the infrastructure up to start getting shale oil out of the ground in South Australia is probably trillions of dollars. We'll probably never do it. We should have started on that 30 years ago, mate. But we definitely need to get storage tanks for crude oil back in this country and have 90 days holdings. We need, and I still think we need another refinery. We need a refinery on the West Coast, surely. Perth relies on all their fuel and oil, or all their fuel, to come down from Singapore in ships. They just.
I know Geelong Refinery management. I remember a manager saying they were really surprised Perth closed. BP had enough and they went home.
Production just cheaper to produce in the Asian countries, mate, because you guys are all on Aussie dollars, and there'd be a lot of yous working. How many people work at the refinery? Any idea? Thousands?
I think there's about, including contractors, about 700 people there on a day shift. There's a bit over 200 operators that work shift work like me.
Yeah. So, you go up and someone's gone. It's like our camping gear, mate. Everyone's gone. It's cheaper to just buy a camping chair from China than it is to try and it's the same. It's gone into the fuel. Cheaper to ship it down.
I think people will be surprised. The biggest cost they whinge about at the moment, I mean, obviously crude is a big cost to them, their stock. But the other thing is they're real worried about now is energy prices, to the point that if they're on a floating scale when they pay their electricity price. It's all about demand, what their price will be. And their price can surge up that high that I get an alarm on the panel when that happens. And my job is to react to that. And all I do is I turn everything off. So it's actually cheaper not to be blending. I turn all the blending pumps off and I turn the big, massive pumps off that pump to Melbourne while that price spikes. Because that's how out of hand energy costs have got. But basically, it's just cheaper for the refinery to just sit there and just turn everything they can off.
Because electricity is too expensive.
Yeah, it peaks at times for them, yeah.
I know. It's
ridiculous, isn't it? Yeah.
Go back on to nuclear. Should we have nuclear power stations to run in a big city?
We need cheap power for industry to survive in this country.
Yeah, well, there you go, mate. And windmills and solar panels aren't cutting the mustard, mate.
No.
And there's a classic example. You blokes shut down when the electricity spikes.
Yeah. I mean, Aussie wages have always been dearer than Chinese wages, yet, 40, 50 years ago, industry was in this country. It's power that's killing them.
Yeah. And the green power is not helping. It's
not. It doesn't cut it.
And
it's all right to supplement it, but it doesn't cut it.
I've got a one here, a note. Do we need to start ramping up coal-fired power stuff? We got enough coal in this country to last us for hundreds of years. We got to start ramping up coal-fired power stations again, but we need to come up with, and there's ways out there, greener coal. Everyone, like open up a coal. There's ways you can stop the bloody bad stuff going in there, the CO2 and that going into the air. I read up on about it yesterday. There is a way that we can run greener coal power stations, which sounds a bit hypocritical, but
people have a go at China. People have a go at China that they're burning all, coal and open on a new coal-fired power station every week, but they burn it a lot cleaner than what ours do.
Yeah, and that's what we need to do. To get on board,
we need to do that too.
How can we burn coal but make it a lot greener? And I think everyone's for that. We don't want to fill the atmosphere with CO2 and all that.
Exactly.
There's a lot of green. Everyone's on board with that.
Yeah.
And you look at it, I read up the other day, China and India and all that are opening up coal-fired power stations. They're using our coal, which is the reason we've got our head above water at the moment, is because of iron ore and coal. So here we are selling our friggin' coal over so these countries can move forward and, become rich using our coal. And here we are trying to be green. It just doesn't make sense, mate. It does not make sense.
No.
We need to do it. The Latrobe Valley, maybe build some more coal-fired power stations down there, but the green ones. I'm sure we've got the people with the know-how to build greener coal-fired power stations.
Of course we have. China's doing it. We can do it.
Yeah, I know. Why don't we do it then? Why aren't we doing it? Because
I think everything got privatised here. You look in Victoria, Gippsland, Kennett, all those years ago, sold off the SEC to private business. Now, if you said to private business, you've got to upgrade your power station and bring it into the 21st century, not 1950s technology burning it. They go, we're not investing that kind of money. We invest our money somewhere else that we can make better money, better returns. So they walk away from it. The last one in Morwell in Gippsland that got basically shut down, a French company owned it. And basically went, no, we're going to put our money somewhere else. There's no more money in this. So I think it all started with privatising it.
Yeah, well, there you go. I've got a little video I'm going to show everyone later about a privatisation of a power station near Lake Macquarie there, and how the government sold it for peanuts, and now it's making a lot of money for them. But it's just ridiculous, mate. I don't know. You reckon we're going to run out of fuel, or they're going to find a solution to this? How high is fuel going to get, you reckon? We're at $3 diesel almost, aren't we?
Yeah, I think that's probably the peak, and I think they'll find fuel. They need to. They have to. It's just you can't not.
Yeah. Here we are, the people going, no fossil fuels and that. Well, the solar and the windmills aren't helping us get around in our cars at the moment, are they? You know,
exactly right.
Wait till the farmers start bloody not producing crops and all that, mate, and our agriculture starts heading south, and we don't start making a lot of money, imports in from our grain and all that, because the farmers haven't had the diesel or haven't been able to afford the diesel to put the seeds in their crops or to plough their crops up and that. Well, they need to find a solution, and they need to find one now.
They do. Find it now. The whole economy runs on diesel. Everything in Woolworths required diesel to get there. Yeah, it is. We're a diesel country. We're a diesel country. Yeah. Short, short. We got rid of our refineries. We don't store the. I'm all for, if we want to import oil, okay, and buy it when it's cheap. But we got to have a way to store it here in this country and a way to refine it as well, mate. If we can't refine 100% of it, 20%'s not cutting the mustard. We've been caught short with refineries. We need more fuel refineries in this country, and we need to store the oil here. So, anything else you want to say, mate, before I crack on? And I just wanted to have you on because when I'm talking about the refineries, I thought, be able to add to the conversation because you have to work there, mate. It's that's it. How long you been there? I'm coming up to 25 years, Buck.
Good on you, mate. Yeah. No talk about them. I don't think there will be now. Who's Viva, mate? Is that a fuel company, is it? Or
basically, it used to be Shell Refinery, and Shell wanted to get out, so they put it up for sale. Viva is basically a lot of Middle East money, but the main company was a company called Vitol, and they're a European company that trade in crude oil, basically. They're the major shareholder with a bit of, Middle East money backing them, and they bought, in 2014, they paid, I think it was $3 billion for Shell Australia. They bought the whole lot.
Wow, bloody hell. Yeah, so I said, all these fuel companies now, they've just gone, it's just cheaper to bloody deal with Singapore and all that type of stuff. So anyway, what do you do? All right, mate, thanks for tuning in this morning.
Right. Enjoy your day.
We could talk about fuel all day, but it just makes people want to bloody cry when you talk about that.
It does.
Thanks, mate. See you later. Take it out,
Bye.
Oh, there you go, everyone. Bloody bit of an insight into the fuel situation, eh? So anyway, we'll keep cracking on with this. Time for green coal-fired power stations. It's got to be on the table, hasn't it, next election? I know there's people we've got to get out of this Paris Climate Accord agreement. Other countries are prosperous, that big word, and we're bloody going backwards. So I think it's time. We've got to have a look at more in it. Australians have voted. We don't want nuclear energy. I think we made that pretty clear at the last election. That's one of the things that sunk Peter Dutton. It's clear Australians aren't prepared to go nuclear. We've got to come up with some other options because bloody windmills and solar panels are not cutting the mustard, everyone. We've got to come up with some other options. We've got to get some greener coal-fired power stations. We've got the coal here. Let's use the shit. But if we can, we don't want to be pumping bloody black smoke into the air. I think we all agree with that one. Another one too, the Whyalla Steelworks in South Australia has got 5 bidders. So that may be opening up soon, which is good to see. But once again, why'd that close down in the first place? Production costs. It's cheaper to buy our steel from China than it is to produce it here. We've still got Blue Scope steel over on the East Coast, but Whyalla Steelworks, there's 5 bidders there. These places need dirty fuel is bad fuel. Yeah, I know, Phil. I know. We all want to go greener, don't we? I don't think there's anyone here that doesn't want to have a greener planet, but we just got to be smart on how we do things, mate. So Whyalla Steelworks, why they closed down? Probably electricity costs. Imagine the electricity to run a steelworks, my goodness. But Japan's work, they're producing green steel now. So there's ways around all this type of stuff. Yeah. Another guy contacted me, Carl Roby, everyone. He had a little business here in Australia. He's moved to the Philippines now, and he said, Buck, I can't compete here in Australia anymore with the cost of electricity. He makes a lot of different stuff, camping gear and that for companies that on Alibaba and all that type of stuff. And he's moved to the Philippines. He said, can't do it here in Australia. I can't be competitive. So there's Carl, if you're watching, mate, there's a guy who's moved his business to the Philippines, everyone. There's a classic example. He said, I can't compete trying to run a business in Australia. The costs are too much. We keep hearing that, don't we? Now, just on another one before we go for the day, everyone. What about the Trumpster? He's up it again. He's upsetting everyone. Did anyone see his thing the other day about he's sitting with the Japanese Prime Minister and a reporter asked him why he didn't tell his allies that he was going to bomb Iran. He said, we wanted to keep it a secret. We didn't want to tell anyone. Just like, and he points to the Japanese Prime Minister, they didn't tell us when they were going to bomb Pearl Harbor. And she just like rolled her eyes and went, I don't believe this moron just said that. You could read her mind. And there was just this nervous laughter in the room. And even the reporters probably thought, oh my God, he stooped to a whole new low. That guy does not have a filter. Did anyone see him say that to the Japanese Prime Minister? Well, she didn't tell us when they were going to bomb Pearl Harbor. My God. It was one of the funniest things I've ever heard in my life, but it was also one of the cringiest things. It was funny because the prick doesn't have a filter. He doesn't know what he's saying sometimes. He's got no filter. And then he called the NATO cowards because they won't send ships into the Strait of Hormuz and all that type of anyway, we could go on a rant about him, but if anyone saw that, have a look at it. The Trumpster saying about the Japanese Prime Minister, the female, well, they didn't tell us they were going to bomb Pearl Harbor. Why should I tell people I was going to bomb Iran? Oh, dear, oh, dear. Nathan said, I change my diesel filter every 5,000. I do mine every 10, mate. I do mine every 10,000. Actually, I do my diesel filter. No, I don't. Every 20 I do. Every 20. And I've got 2 filters. I do them every 20. They're bloody expensive. Like my pre-filter is about $60. You can't I change oil every 5,000. Yeah, it's good to say, but it's bloody money. It's all more money, isn't it? So there you go. Watching Trump is like watching the Three Stooges. Yeah, it's like Roz wakes up in the morning, grabs a phone, and the first thing she does is look on her phone to see what Trump said overnight. What has Trump said or done overnight that has upset everyone? Because he's entertaining. There's never a dull moment on the news when he's the president. But he said some stuff that's pissed a lot of people off. He's a moron, everyone. He's an absolute moron. He's got no filter. He's got no tact. He doesn't know how to. It's all about him. Unbelievable. So anyway. Yeah, the Yanks didn't tell them they were going to bomb Hiroshima either. No, exactly right. Exactly right. And apparently someone in the Trump camp has mentioned the big N word, nuclear weapons. My God, with Iran. That word entered the chat. It didn't come from Trump. It came from probably one of his more moronic thing is nukes on the table. Let's hope not. Let's hope no one we don't want that shit happening over there. Go and nuke Iran. A lot of innocent people over there. Nuke them, and then you've got all other countries around them get nuclear fallout. My God. Let's hope we never, ever see one of those things ever go off on this planet ever again, everyone, or it's the end of all of us, really, at the end of the day. Yeah, it's like a new episode every day, Tracy. Yeah, Tracy, thank you so much for your massive donation to Hope in a Suitcase, mate. Incredible. Yeah. We need to abandon net zero. Yeah, we do. We need to be smart about it, but Ray, we can't just go back to the old days and fill the atmosphere with bloody pollution and all that. I'm all for going green, but we've got to be smart about how we do it. I think we can still use coal. We just need to develop greener ways to do it. And it's been done. It's not fantasy land. People have got a lot greener coal stations. The CO2 that comes out the chimneys they can store underground, and so it doesn't get into the atmosphere. There is ways that you can do it. Chrissy Anderson, you didn't miss much. We just had Steve Blackney on. Blacker's on, mate. He works at the Geelong refinery. He was just telling us a bit about the Geelong refinery, which I found interesting. And as I said, our 2 remaining refineries here in Australia, everyone, can nowhere near keep up with the amount of fuel that this country needs in a day. They can only produce like 20% of it. So the other 80% we've got to get from overseas. And at the moment, we can't get the oil from the through the Straits of Hormuz. So, but there's 80, that leaves 80% coming from other places. Let's hope it's not Russian oil. We don't want to be doing that either. And supporting those arseholes. Yeah. Check your super, guys. It'll cheer you up. Yeah, I checked mine the other day. I was about 10 grand down, mate. I said that on the last one. Don't panic. If you look at your super now and the arse is out of it, just wait till this war's over. She'll go back up again, everyone. Super goes like that, everyone. You know that. And if you look at it now while there's a war on, you're not going to be happy. I reluctantly looked at mine the other day. It was down about 10 grand, which wasn't as bad as I thought. I thought the arse would have been right out of it. It didn't go down as much as I thought. But, hey, listen, if this war keeps going and things keep getting worse, then we could get worst case scenario. So let's hope not. So don't worry about your super. She'll bounce back. I just hope it bounces back to an all-time high when I hit 67 and I want to get it out of the bank, get it out of Q Super. Because when I hit 67, I'm going to go, give the whole lot. I'm not taking it as a pension. I want the whole lot. So I can spend it at Kings on camping gear, everyone. There you go. Phil said, I go to a brand new servo here. I go to a brand new servo here near the airport, just opened recently. New tanks. Yeah, that's what you want, mate. And as I said, my local servo apparently had to close their diesel down. They got water in there. We've had a lot of rain here. I don't know if the water got there or no, water floats to the top of. Does water? I should know this. Does water float to the top of diesel or does it sink? No, it'd float on the top, wouldn't it? So, but they reckon. Yeah, I was using the what's the green stuff you get from Super Cheap Auto? Diesel additive. Oh, forget it now. But I was Fuel Doctor. Fuel Doctor I use. Yeah, I was using the Fuel Doctor. I might go and grab another. That's gone up too. Seen the price of that shit? Fuel Doctor at Super Cheap. That has gone up ridiculous amount recently. Yeah, I use the green Fuel Doctor. I use it in my mower and generator fuel. Put a little bit in there, and the Fuel Doctor can be used in unleaded and also diesel. Everyone, and also put it. I used to put if you put 60 litres of diesel in the BT50, you put 60 mil of the Fuel Doctor in. That was just fill up, in it goes, and I don't know. Does it make a difference? I don't know. John Cadogan did a good thing about fuel additives the other day. I haven't watched that one yet, and whether it's actually worth putting fuel additive in your diesel and that. Water's heavier. Yeah, so, water's, that's right. Water's heavier because when you undo the fuel bowl on your thing, the water's at the bottom. So, yeah, there you go. So be careful, everyone. If the diesel tanks are getting a bit empty at your servo, the water could be sitting in the bottom. Maybe that's why they've closed the diesel bowsers at my local Ampol here. Maybe the diesel was getting low and they were starting to bloody get down where the water was, which isn't a good, knowing that there's, water sinks. That's why you can drain the water out on your filter. On my fuel manager thing, there's a thing you can actually drain the water if you've got fuel in there. But I think once you get fuel in water in your diesel, you're better off just emptying your tank, aren't you, and starting again. You don't want to. Water doesn't go good in a common rail diesel. Super will bounce back and then some. Well, let's hope so, Pete. I hope it bounces back hard when I'm about to take it out. Ed saying Black is well done on the chat. It was good to have Steve come in, and he works at the Geelong refinery and told us a bit. Some of the things he said I didn't know about, everyone. So, yeah. Water sinks diesel. Water floats on oil, but it sinks in diesel. There you go. Anyway, Phil said, and as Buck says, if the tanks are low, you'll get that water in your car. Yeah. How do we know their diesel's getting low? You ask the ladies. Ask the ladies that they dip the tanks every afternoon. Do you see them go out with their vests on and they dip the tanks? So the ladies at the survey should know the level of diesel. Maybe it's worth asking when you go into the survey, what are your tanks sitting on at the moment? Are they low? Yeah, they're getting low. Oh, okay, maybe I'll get me diesel later or whatever. So anyway, what's causing the they're all saying people are panicking and hoarding fuel and all that. Maybe they are, everyone. But why are they doing that? Is because the fuel companies are price gouging and putting their bloody costs up. They started putting their costs up on the very first day of the war. All right? They started price gouging on day one. And that's what put people, and of course people are going to go out and fill jerry cans up while fuel's still $1.70 a litre, because they know that in a week it's going to be $2.89. And they're getting up the people for hoarding fuel and for panic fuel buying. Well, the fuel companies have caused this. Don't blame the people. Blame the bloody fuel companies for price gouging. And is the ACCC handing fines out yet? We all know they're price gouging. Will the fuel companies get massive fines after this? I bet they don't. Let's have a look and see if the ACCC needs to be disbanded. They're just a bunch of toothless tigers, everyone. They do absolutely friggin' nothing. Yeah, exactly right, Benny. ACCC are weak as piss, mate. They do nothing. They should be in there. We got a month's fuel holdings in this country, so we shouldn't. And they bought all that oil at a low cost, haven't they, for our month's supply? So we shouldn't see fuel go up for at least a month. That's the way my brain works. But no, it went up on day one. It started going up on day one. They started price gouging. Or here's another excuse to put the fuel up. Israel's just bombed Iran. Hey, put the price up, and we'll make, the ACCC do nothing. The government should be all over this, but they're not. They're weak as piss. Bowen and Albo and all them, they should be there saying to the ACCC, I want to start seeing some multi-million-dollar fines getting handed out here. Get back to me and tell me, are they price gouging? Yeah, of course they are. Well, start handing some fines out, and then I'll let the nation know that Ampol, BP, Shell, and who are the other ones, United, all just got multi-million-dollar fines and hurt them in the back pocket. Yeah, so we all know they're price gouging, everyone. They're taking the piss out of us, and it's the poor old Aussie that's suffering. Everyone around the world's suffering because the fuel companies just hold us to ransom, don't they? They all know we need fuel. With stuff without it, you either walk or you drive. And if you want to drive, you've got to pay their prices. It's just bloody, they just hold us to ransom, don't they? Got to have options. Maybe go having an electric car is the way to go, but you can't afford the electricity bill to bloody charge that thing up either. Anyway, what do you do? What do you do? Have a say, everyone. I'm going to go soon. If you want to ask a question or whatever, I've got nothing else to say. I've written all my notes down. We could gibber on for hours about fuel and all that. What do? We have a rant about it. Not helping anyone. Is fuel going to go up? Are we going to see it hit $4? Steve reckons it's probably peaked at around the 3. Diesel, I'm talking about, everyone. Is it going to hit 4? Will it keep going up? Surely by now, the people with the know-how, the people with the know-how are now sourcing oil, but you know what they do? The people that supply the 80% of the oil, they're bumping their prices up. They're going, hey, oil's in shorter supply now because of the Middle East. We're gonna cash in here. We're gonna cash in, which means it's gonna come down. Yeah. What about a goodbye tune on the guitar? Maybe. Hang on. You can still see me there. Hang on. I might give you one. See if you know what this bloody no, not that one. That's too hard. Here we go. Yous are gonna. Oh, hang on. Pause it. Righto. Stand by. Who knows? Who thinks they know what this is? Oh, hang on. I'll stuff that one up. Mom and Dad and Denny saw the passing out parade at Buckafunyal. There you go. Only 19. Rafa, come in. Yeah, I'm learning only 19 at the moment, everyone. And there's a B chord in there and it's stuffing me up. B chords are horrible things to play, but there's a lot of songs out there that you can just A's and C's and some of the simple chords and that. So I'm learning only 19 on the guitar at the moment. Anyway, Lukey Reed, hey, this is what I wanted to say. Ed, if you're still on, guess who's coming to the Legends camp? He's just booked the Spirit of Tasmania and he's coming to the Legends for Charity camp. Lukey Reed, everyone, from Tasmania. So talk about great community members. Lukey Reed is coming all the way from Tasmania to go to the Legends for Charity in Victoria. So good on you, Lukey. Well done, mate. Lukey just been over here watching the Formula One Grand Prix, went back over to Tassie on the Spirit, not cheap, by the way, and he rang me yesterday, Buck, I've booked the Spirit and I'm going to the Legends camp. So Lukey's coming all the way from Tasmania to make it to the Legends for Charity camp. Anyone travelling down to the Legends for Charity, safe travels. I know Steve and Annie are on the way. Safe travels, everyone. And Ed, Naz, and everyone going to the Legends for Charity. Have an absolute fantastic weekend. Next weekend, hopefully the weather plays ball down there. And I'm sure it'll be a great event. And well done to Ed and Naz for the organisation. A lot of work goes in behind the scenes. So everyone going to the Legends for Charity next weekend, have a great time, everyone. They're a fantastic thing. They really are. Yeah, and the band played waltz. Tell you what I started learning was True Blue by John Williamson, but that's not as easy as it seems either, that song. So Knocking on Heaven's Door, that's an easy one. What's Going On by Four Non-Blondes, that's an easy one too. It's about three chords just over and over. So there are some simple songs out there that you can play, but I can't remember them. I can't remember them. I have to bring it up on YouTube and have the chords in front of me playing along to the song so I can strum along. But anyway, it keeps me occupied. I'm not out there to try and bloody memorize songs. I just like having a play along to YouTube and just fills in an hour of the day or whatever. So yeah, A and F, B, anything between. No, B's a shit, mate. The bar, I can't get my fingers working on bar chords, mate. I can't get the bar chords going. I can do your A's, C, G, D, all your majors and some of your minors, but when it gets to B, B's are bastards. You got to, and some of the F's, you got to spread your fingers out too far. As soon as it's got a B in it, I pull it up on YouTube. If there's a B in it, I just go next song. I just don't even bother about B's at all. Anyway, see you later, everyone. Going to go out and have another cuppa. It's nearly 11 o'clock, nearly 3 hours this morning. Julian, Tears in Heaven and Salt Water by Julian. Yeah, I haven't tried them ones, Nathan. Haven't tried them at all. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your weekend, everyone. Cowboys on this afternoon against the Titans. I bet they lose. And anyway, hope you're doing it all right out there. I know Landy come on early on and said, he's looking at buying a house at the moment, and it's just everything's just depressing at the moment. The cost of homes, the cost of fuel, the cost of electricity. Bloody hell. How'd we get into this situation, everyone? Yeah, I don't know. You just, as Aussies, you always think when you vote politicians in that the political party in at the time will make decisions that benefit us the most. Have you seen the government come out yet and say we're going to reduce the fuel excise to try and alleviate the problem at the moment? They might only have to do it for a month or two. No, they're not going to do it. They don't care about us, everyone. they're a pack of arseholes, all of them. They're all as bad as each other. They don't care. And I reckon a lot of them are clueless on how to get us out. We'd like to think now that they're sitting back, all these fuel czars they're appointing and that, they're sitting back now and they've got a plan. They should have had a plan in place. There should have already been a plan in place for something like this happening. I bet they didn't, but I bet they had no plan B. And now their asses are doing one of these. And when I tell you what, when we run out of aviation fuel, I'll tell you what, they're going to look like they come out and said, oh, no need to panic. We've got it all there. And we'll see what happens in another month. If there's fuel rationing and Qantas jets can't get off the ground and all that type of stuff, then you know they've let us down. They should have a plan B, and they should already have that be executing that as we speak. There should be a plan B in place, and we should be getting oil from wherever else we get our oil from. Be nice to know we could ramp up our own oil production, but I bet that's not happening. We'll be trying to look at other countries that we can buy it from. Where, I don't know. Who else produces oil? There's another 80% out there somewhere. We must be getting to someone. So hopefully that's on ships coming to us as we speak. All right, everyone, enjoy the rest of your weekend day. And thanks for tuning in today. And thank you to everyone who has contributed to the Aussie Shirt Hope in a Suitcase charity. Thank you so much from Tracy Lindenberg and Brad Howell, you guys that have made big donations so we can buy more suitcases. Absolute legends, the lot of yous. And I was really proud of this community, everyone. Every time I run a charity, this will probably be the last one for a while too, just quietly. I don't think the plates is going to get off the ground. We've requested our money back on the plates. We've just hit a brick wall on those. So this could be the last charity I'll run for a while. I'm not going to, if the plates don't turn up, I probably won't run another one this year because it's just asking too much of yous with all the other shit that's going on around the world at the moment, electricity and fuel and all that. I feel bad asking yous to dig in your pocket to buy shirts for a charity, but that's what we do. And we're still producing the goods, aren't we? Even in hard times, this community is still producing the goods. Whoever's buzzing me, bet it's Nathan again. Not Colin the fathead. I'll check your messages after. I don't check my messages during the thing, guys. It's bloody thing. See you, Andy. Catch you later, mate, up there, and hope you're all well up in the mother country. See you later. Longest goodbye in the world. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Bye now.